So we'll just stand for the karakia, and then we'll kick off.
Kia mā kina kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai, e ia he ana te atakura, e tio he huka he haunga, ti hei mauriora.
Right. We'll declare the meeting open at 4:31 p.m. First up, we have apologies. So we have an apology for lateness from Sam McDonald. Any other apologies today? No other ones?
What Dave Carr?
Yep, okay. Can I get a mover for that, please? So,
Happy to second.
Bridget, second. All in favour? Aye. Carried. Declarations of interest. Just if anyone has any declarations of interest on any of the topics we talk about today, let us know. If they come to mind as we work through the agenda, just let us know and can sit back from the table. Okay. Oh yeah, and also everybody, the meeting is being recorded and live streamed, so that you can go back and have a re-watch the meeting on the council website at a later date if you like. Confirmation of the previous minutes. I'm happy to move those if we have a seconder.
Yep.
Right, thank you very much. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Right, so moving on to public forums. So first up we have Brindle Road. So Louise and Kevin Phillips are going to speak to us on that. Now we have 5 minutes to run through your comments, and then that also includes other questions, and also just to keep in mind that this isn't a decision-making forum, but we can potentially take some actions to go away and have a look at out of after that.
Okay, thank you.
All yours.
My name's Louise Phillips. This is Kevin Phillips. We're at 5 Brindle Road. As you can see, we don't come alone. We're backed by a whole street. In fact, I have 94 signatures in a petition, which I've collected over the last 3 weeks. And every one of these people have had a story of a trip, a fall, a car scrape, a child on a bike, a wheelchair, a walker, etc., etc. I've got letters, I've got texts, I've got email threads from so much support. It's been absolutely incredible. The first thing is basically, I guess, is so many councils have gone through this, and this has been brought up before in Brindle Road. The camber of the road is extremely steep. In fact, Kevin said, why is your mother parked in the middle of the road? I said, because it's safer. It's safer for her to park in the middle of the road than it is on a lane where she can hardly open the car door, and goodness forbid, if she did open it and she let it go, it's going to slam back and decapitate or grab a leg or whatnot. And she's not the only one. A lot of people park in the road, and because they do that, it also brings it down to one lane. So it's a lot more difficult. My daughter said the other day, why are the cyclists in the middle of the road? Because it's safer for them to go in the middle of the road. So for the amount of space that's there, it's just ridiculous. It's a health and safety hazard, left, right and centre, any way you look at it. We've got photos off the road.
On screen? Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. So effectively over the years, what's happened is there's just been band-aids, 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 and more band-aids. It's an absolute wreck. I believe our full rate intake for a year is around $800,000. I do appreciate that that has to go into different areas of the city, but for watching us, painfully watching every other street be done around us and the lovely curbs and the lovely footpaths in other areas, it's really hard work for us to watch. As you can see, with all the damage in here. Another point is, what we have found is that I have here is, can you bring up please, Aidan, the previous submission? This is a submission from 2002. And guess what the topic is? We are writing to request that Brindle Road be reprioritised by the council for curb, channel and road improvements. Exactly the same as why we're here today. So major grounds for prioritisation is the camber of Brindle Road is unacceptably steep. There's businesses and commercial and community facilities affect Brindle Road, which impacts all the traffic as well, and also there's health and safety issues. Exactly the same. And that was in 2002. How long ago was that? Sorry. Anyway, what else we need to cover? Let's see. I believe that the footpaths and channels. So where is it? Section 331 of the Local Government Act 1974. It reads, number 331, footpaths and channels, informing or reforming any road or part thereof, not being a road in a rural area. The council shall ensure that reasonable and adequate provision is made for the curb and channel of any footpath or part thereof to be formed or reformed so as to permit safe and easy passage from curb to curb of any mechanical conveyance normally and lawfully used by a disabled person. Quite frankly, good luck to you trying to get a wheelchair across from curb to curb safely. Anything of that sort. So that's footpaths and channels. Also, we have a graph here, which is an example of the capital and maintenance interventions on asset value. It says here that after 30 years, it looks like it's time for us to be replaced. 30 years, the council should be looking at capital replacements. I don't know all the ins and outs and all the jargon that goes with it, but I mean, it's very clear. It's high time. It's not irresponsible to tell the council when these assets are needed to be upgraded. It's for your assets management team. Let's see, what else do we have here?
I'll just add on what Louise is saying is also, I don't think that road's been touched since 1983. And I think the footpath was 1974.
Yeah.
Along those lines. And so that clearly demonstrates that it's time for replacement, right? And it's just to add on also, it's about the flooding in the areas as well. And so you would have seen or heard many problems with Brindle Road flooding at the southern end. And so once again, it's just been a Band-Aid fix for that point. So sorry.
No, that's fine. There's only two sumps located at the start of Brindle Road and Glendover Road, and they're just not adequate enough. Because even in a small rainfall,
so that graph there shows it
constantly pulling right at that intersection, which is outside some of our neighbours' homes, which again is another health and safety issue. It covers all the curbs as well. So basically what we are asking for, and we come here as not one voice, as a whole street, is please can we prioritise our Brindle Road? It's a main thoroughfare for a lot of cars as well. We have children that go to school down the alleyway. They go to Fendalton School. They're crossing the roads as well. It's just health and safety. It's a real issue, and it's time it was done. Is that my 5 minutes?
There's a retirement village down this end here as well, which you all know about as well.
We've got 2 retirement villages on the street, sorry.
And so, there's a lot of elderly people coming in as well. So, ambulances use that as a thoroughfare as well down Brindle Road. And they just fly down the middle because cars are parked so far off the actual camber, then it just makes it single lane, go through there. So,
okay, great. You have some questions? Time for some questions?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming along today. Impressive presentation, and the support is clearly evident in the room. One of the questions I have is so that it's helpful for us to know about these things and for this. The public forum, right? It lets us know what are the concerns the residents have, and this is obviously one of yours. You've got in contact with us. Have you been in contact with staff around, like, have you contacted the City Council directly, and have they been in touch? Because you mentioned before, asset management team should be aware of this. Have you spoken?
yeah, absolutely.
So I've got a thread here from another resident of Brindle Road who was unable to be here today. He contacted them in August last year, straight to the chief exec office actually, but unfortunately they misplaced his request, so it didn't get done. But he had written to them, here we go. Thank you again for your patience regarding this request and understand our error. I confirm that the footpath was in regards to the footpath being done at 1979. You have the right to request an ombudsman, but what they're saying basically is he has put this request in. He has done that in August last year, 2022, actually he did, and December 2023. So there's been requests. I've rung up for tickets. Kevin's rung up before. I've rung up. I bet you almost everybody in this room has rung up at one point or another and said, this is an issue.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I've actually rung the council and I've actually said, hey, can you give me a thread or a chain, or because normally when you lodge calls, right? So I was wondering if I could get that information, but I was unable to get that information. But I'm guarantee you it'd be a hefty amount of requests.
What's it got in the 10-year plan?
Brief, just addressing that. So there is some maintenance in the long-term plan for the road surface. Not sure whether that covers the curb and channel at the moment.
Look at it. It's just the gutters there.
Yeah. So, James, I'll just let you ask a question.
Well, if I may, it's not so much of a residence. I just want to ask from our process. In the capital program, next financial year, there's a street resealing program for the southern end. But I think what's clear is that doesn't go far enough. And from our perspective, can we consider getting an evaluation staff to look at this so we can actually see where that sits in terms of priority? My feeling is that it will be quite high up on this when you compare it with other streets. From that, can we then perhaps look at prioritising this in our own community board priorities as something that we can then advocate then strongly for? And then once we've got that staff advice, we can then look at the need to prioritise that through the council work program. Because, okay, 24-25 for the southern end, that's great, but quite literally it's only half the job. And I don't think that will tackle urban channeling.
It's not good enough, is it, Brindle Road?
No. I've actually looked at an example of staff, what are number one, so what I mean. You know, we're sitting outside my office one time, and it was raining, and the street flooded in, so it go down. What I saw was it was so flooded that children were walking down the middle of the road because they couldn't get past the sidewalk. They almost got hit by a car. And so when I saw that, I decided to call. Well, I said, don't bother. We had to make other residents. But I persisted because I thought it's about health and safety. The process you have is extremely difficult. Every time you phone the call centre, they're very good people, but it's all about the process. Tick the box. If you haven't done it, you need to fill in an application form. I reminded them that about the health and safety risk. I got contact with one of their contractors, gave me an email, text back saying, one thing goes in the photo, this is extremely dangerous. We had a work plan in place. This was in January. We had a work plan in place between 3 months and 12 months. In the meantime, we'll have some process to fix it. I've tried to contact the council, went through the process, had to go through the call centre. Look, can I talk to your SE management people? Knowing that it's probably just been pushed to them. That was probably a month ago. We met on hold for it. So the process is difficult, but it is a reminder. We did remind them, senior management and councillors responsible for health and safety.
Yep. So
what
I think we'll do is we'll request a memo from staff on what works are being planned for the next financial year, and then also in terms of the curb and channel, where that sits in the prioritisation, and then if there are any other factors or mechanisms we can use, James, to see if we can get that prioritised more quickly, because we can use the board plan and the LTP process and the submissions process into the LTP to really highlight to the council that this is important and needs to be done sooner rather than later.
Just make sure that in any request that we've got in there that it's street wide, because I just, I don't want us to be fobbed off by saying it's in the capital program, job done, because that's not far enough. And my fear is when it's resealing as well, that will essentially just put some chip seal on top of it, and then that then needs to be comprehensive. And then so maybe we can then take that as a board once we've got that information. It's got to be a comprehensive Brindle Road wide advice from the staff, and then we can take it from there. But also, I think I could perhaps be a link point with Louise and we can try and take this on board as a board, and we'll liaise offline and see if we can try and do something more comprehensive, because I think everyone here agrees it's completely unacceptable the state that it's in. Yeah. Problem is then we've got a whole other process at council, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Bring the team along.
And I appreciate that you're looking at the southern end, but the northern end, their camber is actually
Totally.
even steeper
Totally agree.
than ours. I mean, you can't even put children's car seats. You know, I don't know if you want to show those photos or if there's any point, but one of the mothers, this letter here is from one of the mothers, she struggles putting her child into the car seat because of the length and the width and the depth of the gutters. You know, it's just, it's completely unsafe. I mean, you could, car doors, there you go. Oh, I should have put my name and my business on the car, shouldn't I? Yeah.
The road was last sealed, I think, in 1983.
Yes.
Our daughter was in school. And it was done on March the 31st, the very last day of the financial year. Yeah, and I won't go into the reasons why it was done on March the 31st, but we've lived in the street since 1980, and the road was actually better before it was sealed.
Right, thank you very much for that. No, just keep in mind, we've got some other deputations and public forums to work through, but we'll get that memo out and James can link up with you and we'll see what the quickest way is for us to get through that process and get that update done.
Could I just make I've got one other question. I think when you look at the streets around River Road, I've always wondered why Garrick Road, which is not a through road, or part of it, was completely redone when it was in a much better position and better condition than River Road.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, we can investigate why the consistency isn't there, but we really do need to move on.
So I'd be
Yeah.
very interested in how that process.
Yep, we'll take that on board as a part of the question.
What's the time for the feedback from Jane?
Well, it's not so much, won't be me at this point. We need to.
Council staff putting together the memo and then however long it takes for them to turn that around and get that back to us.
What's that time frame?
Yeah, so I said we can put some urgency on it, but it's very difficult for us to be able to give you a specific timeline on that because we can't control what kind of backlog they've got and how they can prioritise it. But yeah, so it's really hard to say, but it's not months and months and months. So that may be a couple of weeks to a month to 6 weeks. That's hard to say.
What if our staff can keep me in the loop with where that's at? Then I can, Louise, you're the best link point for this. And then
Yeah, she's the best forward. Sure.
sounds good.
Cool. Right. Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks very much for coming in.
Yep, I've got a copy of the petition with Aidan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's out of what 100 or so in the street, that's 94, and I guarantee you I can get 100%. If you want me to get 100% street, the only reason I couldn't is some people are away.
The next thing too, and I'm sorry then through you, Mr. Chair, just when you do your report through to council on what those issues are, is this something that you will be able to raise when you present to the wider council as well?
Yeah, absolutely. The next update. Yep.
Try and just keep it top of mind.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and thanks very much. And you guys don't need to stay for the rest of the meeting anymore.
Hey, that's right. I don't think there's many.
Next up, Belfast Resident Association and Charlotte. Be hiding in the back somewhere.
That's an easy.
It's got a wait, it's a wait.
David said he's stopped.
You're up, Charlotte. Thanks for coming in.
Should be on payroll by now.
Where's all your posse shit?
I know, right? This is what we do in that. So I've just, all right to go? I've just circulated a paper, but it's all very much a very positive review, and thank you very much for all of the connections that the community board has provided for us through the council to get a lot more traction on some of the issues that have been addressed in Belfast. So we went from a burnout activity annoyance. And we've installed some cameras and we're getting some very good conviction rate from that. And from your report, you'll see the quality of the camera footage is excellent. And that's all with the relationship that's been established with Senior Sergeant Luke Vaughan as well at the police department, who's getting some action there for us. So I've also brought the Belfast Area Residents Association out of retirement or recess. So they said they haven't been active since 2020. And as such, part of that process, I am making it more of a public and user-friendly forum. And so with that, we've now got a private Facebook group with 222 members. It's growing at about 15 members per week. We've got a domain name and email address, admin@belfastresidents.org.nz done. We've got a website, belfastresidents.org.nz live. It's got news items, community activities, and a history page all about Belfast, which is just to kind of recreate a sense of identity and belonging. We've got our bank account all up and running, dual signatories. We've got an incorporated society document drafted and we're just about ready to register that so we can then get contracts. We've got 4 committee members, including me, from urban planner and a historian on board. So we've all got our individual tasks. We've got a community meeting set for the 28th of August, which I'll send invitations to the community board as well. We've got the Christchurch North Community Patrol and the Community Police. And of course, that all ties in with your perfect timing couldn't be better. So we're all about safety. We're going to introduce ourselves as the committee members, and we just want to have more of a centralised voice for Belfast so that we get the message through. So just want to reiterate that we're very much in touch with the developers. Belfast is expanding rapidly. We want to make sure that those developers are also paying for some of this infrastructure that we need that is already identified in our Belfast area plan, and making sure that you're collecting the money rather than them going, filling their pockets and buggering off and leaving us to it as ratepayers. So that's kind of where we're just kind of merging and working out what we need as the community grows. I just have one final request is with the cameras, we're looking at putting in some permanent installations. And I just need my Jan from the camera, the council guy who's in charge of cameras. Can I get you to grab him by the ear and sit down with me, 20 minutes tops? I just want to see if it's a deal or something that we can work with. Just a couple of locations. I need power to the site, which we'll need to put it on a meridian lamppost. So that's all I need. I've just tried to get hold of this guy for the last 4 months and he won't.
Elusive.
Yeah, which I'm sure he's really busy, but I'm very precise about what we need and what it won't be a waste of his time.
Okay.
If we can do that, that's great.
Any questions for anyone?
Oh.
Roger?
No, but just a comment to say thanks for your work.
No worries.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without you guys, so thanks again.
That's awesome.
Thanks very much for coming in.
So someone around.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll follow that. Great. So that's our public forums. Moving on to number 5 in the agenda for today, deputations by appointment. Judith Watson, if you'd like to come up, take a seat. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. You've probably already got the letter that we sent. I have a picture of our plan. The reason being we would like Sleeman View Lane is because my granddad bought it in 1919, the property. So it's actually been in the family since then. I'm the 3rd. Our daughter over here is going to be the 4th generation that's going to live on the property. And you probably know it's in Crofton Road. And that really is the reason that we want the Sleeman name. There's only one other Sleeman Road or whatever, but that's in Hororata. So that really doesn't. I mean, we did have Sleeman Lane, but we got turned down because there's a Lehman Lane in Redwood, which is too close, and we understand that. So we put the view in because we're on the side of the road that you look out to the mountains, you see the planes coming in every day. Really, that's what we hear. We want Sleeman, nothing else.
It's great. Yeah, Aaron?
Just on your working plan there, it's got Sleeman Close.
Oh,
But
yeah,
was that just when they were doing it?
Yeah.
It's okay, because I live in a close and it works
You
quite
do
well.
too.
Yeah, so, but you don't like Sleeman Close, you prefer the Sleeman View Lane.
we do really, yeah,
Yeah.
because we have got the view and,
Great view, especially at 6 o'clock with Emirates going out.
oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
And of course, the people down the back cannot build. We've got a 5-acre block across the back of our property there. We've also got the Styx River, beginning of the Styx River runs through there as well. And they can't build on their property because they're in the green belt. So we've got a rural outlook. All the houses down by the creek and everything will have a rural outlook.
Okay. That's great. All right, unless there's any other question from anyone, thanks for coming in, and because I think the first item after the deputations is pretty close to our proposed lane change will be on the agenda, so if you hang around for 5 or 10 minutes, we'll
actually know tonight.
Yep.
Right now.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, look, we can sell you a section. Anybody want a section?
Well, I think we get a discount based on this name. This is being recorded.
Recorded, Aaron. That was everybody, just so you know. Right, moving on to number 6, presentation of petitions. There are no petitions being presented. So then that moves us on to staff report. Then, it doesn't.
Should we?
We'll receive it.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it might help between the public forum.
Can we?
We'll note it.
Yeah,
It would be noted in there.
All right.
In the minutes.
we'll make sure that the minutes are updated to be noted that petition was presented for
Just in case.
Brindle Road. So then that takes us on to number 7, the proposed lane name for 69 Crofton Road.
Happy to move Sleeman View Place.
Staff are on.
Yeah, we'll just
Lane, Sleeman View Lane, sorry. Let's get too excited.
get too excited.
Can we get the recommendations from those, or is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
just bring them up.
And Sean.
Yeah, Sean's online.
Yeah. You want to, if you can hear us, Sean, is there anything else you'd like to add to the report that's presented?
Afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I can hear you. Nothing else particularly, except it's a sort of, you'll see in the text of the report, it's a technical tension with the policy, because the Sleemans have continued to be the owners of the land rather than having let it go. I mean, if they'd let that land go, somebody else had purchased it and then was developing it and wanted to use the name Sleeman, then it would be an historical association. So it's just one of those situations where the wording of the policy can't cater for every situation. So there's not any particular issue with the name Sleeman View. Just that.
Right, Aaron's happy to move the recommendation of Sleeman View Lane. Yeah, I'll second that one. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. There we go. Sleeman View Lane.
Give your name.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
for
everyone.
coming in.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Right, moving on to number 8, native planting along Island Stream. Toby? Take a seat.
I'm happy to move it.
Yeah, I don't have a presentation or anything.
Thank you.
All right.
See you later.
Does anyone have any questions on that?
That's great.
Take it as read.
That's all.
Right, Sam's happy to move. Can we have a seconder for that report? Thanks.
Yes.
Suresh got that one.
So just for a little bit of clarity, there'll be another plan coming to you in the near future with a full planting plan for the rest of the park.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can hear the bellbird and Tui already.
All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thanks very much. Number 9, Withall's Road. Presenter Jima. Hello.
Hello. So just, we completed the construction of the safety improvements. The post-construction audit was undertaken and they raised a concern about pedestrian visibility when crossing Withall's Road. So we're proposing to remove one car park. We undertook some letter drops and we didn't hear any feedback from the residents. They do filter out onto different parts of the next street, the adjoining street, Merrin Street. So yeah, we're just looking for the approval of the next one.
Okay, right. Sam, happy to move. And,
Nicola
Yep.
seconds.
oh yeah, sorry, Nicola, happy to second. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Okay, against? Carried. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Quite right, I'm next.
And the next one too.
Yeah.
Clyde Road Bus Stop.
Yes. So we were pretty much close to completion of the works when we realised there was a service clash with the bus shelter. At that time, we got in touch with the landowner, who is Kayanga Ora, who informed us of the redevelopment plans for that site, and that the bus stop in the location that it had been marked would be problematic for their pedestrian entrance. So we agreed a location on site just to the west, and that's been done. So this is just a retrospective report to make the bus stop legal.
Okay.
The bus shelter will still be worked through with Kayanga Order when it's kind of built, so that we can see the best placement for bus shelter.
Okay. Cool. Anyone have any other questions around that?
Yeah, just so looking at the aerial photos, that got a raised curve done already for it. Is that what I'm seeing? Is that grey patch?
So that little grey patch is now solid for footpaths, so they're not getting on and off into a berm.
Right. And did they raise it?
No, curb has remained at the current height, just because it would have incurred a lot more cost.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
All right, can I have a mover for that one?
Can I just ask one question?
Oh yeah, sure, James.
The only thing I noticed is that, and I could be interpreting this the wrong way, but it almost looks like that the proposed relocation just goes over a right of way. I was just thought I don't want to create more trouble, so it's relatively simple. But I thought we were trying to avoid those in future, or is that not necessarily the case?
So it does show that it's going over right of way. They have put site fencing up all the way around, and it's kind of a continuous built frontage, so that right of way won't exist
Cool.
in future.
I just think they've created dramas for us in the past, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Together as best we can.
no, nice. I'm happy to move it if no one's moved it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, great. Moved by James. Seconded by Suresh. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thanks very much for coming in.
Okay.
Moving on to number 11, the Better Off funding applications.
Thank you. We've got the staff here. If you've got any questions on any of them?
If you move, just a question.
Aaron?
And I shouldn't shoot myself in the foot because it's my area, but the picnic tables at the swimming pool. What, $11,500? Like, I've bought picnic tables before, commercial ones, so.
Concreting is very expensive, so that comes with.
Oh, so they're doing,
Concrete.
right, underneath,
Yeah,
right,
and
okay.
the security, keeping them weighed down, put them in the pool. They get thrown in the pool otherwise.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
What else?
Even when they're chained to the fence, they still get thrown in the pool.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. No,
Yeah,
that's
so
all.
using the same outfit of the one for the Botanic Gardens.
Any other questions on any of the Better Off funding? No? All right, well, Sam's moved. We have a seconder for that.
Happy second?
Bridget second. All in favour?
Aye.
Against?
I'm just gonna abstain
Okay, do you want that noted, Aaron?
if you want. Doesn't really change anything.
Sure. Okay, that's carried. Thanks very much, guys. That's really good to get the rest of that out the door. And then from there, we move on to the discretionary response fund application.
That's me. It's you, man. Oh, yeah. I thought it was you, okay. Oh, so I'm the only one who left and it was mine. Right, okay.
Right.
Happy to move.
Oh, you don't want me to? No,
Yeah,
that's
you
fine.
might.
No, I don't need
I'm
to.
comfortable with it.
If you're happy with it, you've read it, that's great.
You might undo the direct.
Yeah, no, I better say nothing. Yeah.
Has any other questions on that? Then everyone's comfortable with the report?
Yes, correct.
Right. James is happy to move. Aaron got that one. Aaron to second. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thanks very much.
Is that both?
Italy?
That was my, I was moving both.
Both, both the YDF applications. And with that, oh. Hang on a second.
I've already done the one.
Sorry, that was a DRS, yeah?
Yeah, no, on my dear.
The YDF, sorry. Moving on to number 13, the YDFs. Nothing.
Yeah, has you got any questions?
Anyone have any questions on those? No?
Happy to move.
Aaron, happy to move.
Second.
Trish, happy second. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thanks, team. Number 14. The board area report.
Yeah, happy to take it as read and have any questions. If you've got any questions, happy to answer. Pretty straightforward.
How did the workshop go on the incorporated society stuff? Because that's, people haven't got their head around yet.
It was interesting. They were very, very helpful, community chemical law, weren't they? Yeah, I think it's just the start of the process, and the key thing, the message that came out was just get like a register. If you don't get it completed, that's fine. You just need to register before the is it March, April 25. Yeah. So it's the start of the process, and there was actually, I think it said 9 new groups that have not connected with the association before, so they're quite happy with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Right. Right, I'm happy to move that. Can I have a seconder, please? David, thanks very much. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thanks very much, team. With that, we move on to item 15, elected members information exchange. Nicola.
It's not really information at the moment. Look, I just would like a reminder as to what is the purpose of the elected members information exchange and what kind of things should we be bringing up? Just like a reminder or some advice.
Okay.
If that's okay, just, sometimes you don't know what to bring up or what to share.
Do you want that now?
Yeah, yes, is that all right?
So originally it was an opportunity for our councillors to share what was happening at a bigger picture at council level, and for board members, if you're the representative, like your airport, if you've had one of those meetings, to be able to update the board, or if there's a particular public interest thing going on that you're having quite a bit to do with to bring the board up to speed. So pretty much anything. You just can't make decisions from it.
Right.
But yeah, just if there's anything you feel the board would be interested in knowing about.
Thank you. Just wanted some clarity for myself. Thank you.
I do want to, I might take this opportunity to ask in a minute then, and Marianne probably knows what I'm going to raise with this, but it's just an ongoing issue, but a lot of good work from council officers that I want to thank at this point. But David and Hamish Campbell and I met on site at Hartley Ave because there is the overbridge, which was deemed unsafe. There has been work done in terms of assessing it and putting together a work program to fix it. The finer details are still being worked through. It seemed like there was some high level agreement on a cost split between Ministry of Education and council. It appears that the ownership of the bridge was Ministry of Education, but then that's just still being clarified, but I can keep the board abreast with that, but it seems to be moving in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. But it's a vital link to Waimaero School. So there's not a lot of those over bridges over the train tracks, because so this is one that's pretty important for that community, particularly given where it sits and where Waimaero School is. That area of Strowan really has no direct access to Waimaero School other than from around where the Elmwood is or Blyers Road at the other end. So it's pretty important. We can't underestimate the importance of that link.
Good opportunity to get the high vis on, hey James?
You bet.
What's the health and safety issue on it?
That it's unsafe. I think
Railings.
railings are unsafe.
It's great standing on there when a train's going up.
And a high level estimate is that it's around sort of 44,500, I think, was the estimate sort of cost of repair, and that looks to be a sort of cost that can be split between council and
That's a great outcome. It's a lot cheaper than the Belfast one at 10 million.
Any other updates from anyone else?
Obviously, we've got LTP, so we should theory set that week after next. Still not ideal. It's still looking to start with well, it should be a single digit, but it's probably going to be a 9.
Not getting down to Northland levels?
Not quite. No, not if we didn't quite have our way, did we? But yeah, so that'll be that in theory that'll be struck the week after next. So that's all sort of the attention at the moment, basically.
Well then, can I raise something? Just to sort of, in a similar vein to James, just noting it in minutes, just around getting some information from with who the relevant traffic staff member is for Tom Bridge Street and Rashwick Street. That'd be great, and to get some dates as to when the slower speed safety school zones will be implemented, and some information around what the order of priority is for street upgrades, just to know where those two streets sit at would be great.
So I think for the slow speed, they're hoping by the end of the year.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's what I latest I heard. I'll chat to you about the rest of the.
Yeah, great.
After the meeting.
And I'll just also flag that. I'll keep you updated with how that goes.
Aaron?
No, I'll just drop a couple in there. With the Harewood Greens Gardens intersection, which is coming up in the LTP, I've also, because staff are saying government will give us no money, so I've gone directly to Matt and Hamish and asked if the government will stump up. So they're talking to their staff to see if there's any way that can happen, and fingers crossed they can, that they will partner and do half the intersection. Good news, well, not good news for the people involved, but for the case is there's another crash there yesterday. So a car flipped over on its side, which makes for a great photo. So yeah, that's all good. And then the other update is the very big retention basins at the corner of Sticks Mill and Gardeners Road are almost complete.
Looking good, eh?
Yeah, it looks amazing. The work that staff have done there. So that'll take obviously a lot of stormwater from the area. But if you're in the area, just drive past and have a look. It's amazing. It's going to have a walk track around it. But I mean, probably David's the only one who'll get around it. It's that long.
We just need that shared path so people can safely get access to it, eh?
Yes. The shared path down Gardeners Road will be helpful. But that's coming. It's only been there for several years.
All right, thanks very much. Anything else from anybody? No? All right. With that, then we'll stand for the closing karakia and then we'll close the meeting.
Second, my things were scratched. No problem. Just pass it to the leads.
Burning here, burning here, burning here, kia te, tapuni, kia watia, kia maha, te nako, te tiana, te wairua, I te ara whakata, hoia Waimāero mo, whakakaia ake kia, kia tina, hui tai kia. All right, everyone, thanks very much. And with that, we will close the